Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to be talking to you about how to grow the Crocosmia, a lovely bulb from South and Eastern Africa, and one of my favourites for the tropical garden. Anyway, today it is the first time we've come out into the garden to actually do any real gardening work this year, and on camera we have the lovely Lorna.
Hello.
So it's January, and usually you pick up your Crocosmia bulbs in the spring as dry root pre-packed bags in your local garden centre. But I managed to find myself a couple of pots of established plants at a fantastic price. So we're going to look at these for planting first. And while I'm unpacking,
Looks interesting.
yeah. So Lorna,
I wonder what keeps arriving at the door.
it's
Plants,
just,
isn't it?
It is a never-ending stream
Supply of plants.
yeah, delivery drivers turning up.
It is.
Crocosmia. What does that mean? What does that name mean?
Crocus-like.
That is not a bad guess. Right, comes from the Greek crocos, meaning saffron.
Ah,
And
that's not bad.
Yeah, and the saffron is indeed Crocus sativa.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because it is said that the leaves, the dried leaves of the Crocosmia, when immersed in boiling water, gives you the scent of the saffron. And why wouldn't they? Because they are both from the
Same species.
Iridaceae family, which is Iris Iridaceae family. And there you go. So Crocos means saffron, and the croco bit of Crocosmia is saffron, and the osmia at the bit means odour, so it's got the smell of saffron. There you go. So Crocosmia, smelly saffron, dried leaves in hot water. That's what that is.
Okay. So I'm unwrapping. Come on then. I want to see what your hard-earned money has bought you.
Well, I think are you buying pre-packs, you're looking at about 3 bulbs for about 6 quid, 7 quid. 3 bulbs for 6, 7 quid. And I bought these pots, 6 quid each.
So
And to begin with,
hang on.
so these are the stems of the old leaves, and someone's put a
Yeah.
bit of loose soil on that to make it look nice, which is going to be a pain because I want to tip it up and have a look at what condition the bulbs are in. Right, so I've got 2 choices here, which is why I've got 2 pots. Choice 1 is just to plant this as it is into the ground.
That's what every ounce of my being says. Because it's all rooted and nice to go in.
Indeed. Choice 2 is a bit risky, where we separate out the bulbs and plant them around. The thing with Crocosmia bulbs is that they tend to produce a new bulb on the top, and they sort of corkscrew themselves further into the soil. So the top bulb is kind of at the same. So every year you get a new bulb. That new bulb's at the top.
Yeah.
It sort of turns somehow, a bit weird. And the top 2 bulbs, you can snap those off, so you can propagate in more bulbs. So if I've got say 2 or 3 bulbs in a line here, then that means I can split them and have like 3 each. So rather than 1, 2, 3, effectively 4 lots of plants, I could probably have up to 12
But
bulbs.
you'll have a bigger, more stronger, healthier display if you don't split them.
Indeed we will. So for this one, I'm going to leave as it is, and in this pot I'm gonna split. Anyway, how do you plant crocus bulbs? Did I just say crocus bulbs?
Yes.
Crocosmia bulbs, right? Now, if you purchase your bulbs as loose bulbs, then you typically plant those 3 times the depth of the bulb itself. If you're buying them as established pots, then you plant them so that the existing level in the pot is the same as in the ground when you plant it. So there's no difference. You don't worry about planting these any higher or lower. Crocus bulbs, they need to be planted in full sun. They need to be planted.
Do you mean Crocosmia?
I keep saying it. Crocosmia. It's because of the Greek bit. The Greek bit sort of thrown me. Now I keep going back to it. Div I am. Full sun, free draining soil, but be aware that they do require watering over the summer. If they get too dry, they can reduce foliage growth and reduce flowering. So they need to be in full sun to grow well. They don't do very well in shade because that will reduce flowering. So full sun, well drained soil, but make sure over the summer during periods of drought they are watered. And one more thing, because they produce so much foliage, it is a good idea to put some rich organic matter in the base of your planting hole before planting your bulb. So today we're going to be using a small amount of farmyard manure. I'm going to dig that in before we put this in.
Right, honey. Don't say crocus.
Crocosmia.
Hey.
Crocosmia. Okay, so we have the pot here. I've dug a hole slightly wider than the pot and deeper than the pot. The reason for that is because I'm going to put in the base of the pot some blended, sterilised farmyard manure. Now, if you're buying it pre-packed from your garden centre, this gets heat sterilised.
Yes.
So there's no seeds in here, dormant seeds, that will start to sprout around your new plants and compete with them. So, a few of those. Add a bit of nutrition. Make sure you dig that in, because you don't really want, because this is usually quite rich, high in nitrogen, and if your roots are directly touching the manures, then you can get like root burn. I won't go into that today, but just avoid doing it. You do it just by digging it in with the surrounding soil, and that's all you need to do regarding that. And then you just check that your pot level is the same as your ground level. So I just need to build it up a bit. Okay, now you see a lot of people, and I've said this so many times, they have this need, this feeling to start pulling apart, teasing the root system in order to promote new root growth. Don't do that, that is ridiculous. All you're doing is you're damaging all the root hairs. You're damaging all the root hairs. It takes a while for the plant to regrow those. So all you're doing is putting the roots into a little bit of shock. It's ridiculous, don't do it. Do not tease open the roots. Going. Right, there are two more things to be aware of. It's a South African plant, as we said before, and generally South African plants can be a wee bit on the tender side, and Crocosmia are no different, and as such they will need a dry mulch over the winter, especially in winters where we are expecting extremely cold temperatures, such as last year when we had temperatures going down to between -7, -8, and my Crocosmia lucifer, which is what this one is, died, which is why we are replanting them this year. So just be aware of that. Also, can I just say, there's an absolutely wonderful cultivar along with lucifer, which has an award of garden merit from the RHS, and that one is Crocosmia Hellfire. And it's even deeper, like a blood red, absolutely
lovely,
wonderful,
isn't it? Yeah.
which also has an award of garden merit from the RHS.
I think it's slightly bigger, slightly blousier, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just more impact. Just wonderful.
And you've actually brought up a good point. These taller, more blousier Crocosmia varieties and species, they can fall down in strong winds, heavy rains. So particular Methusiana and also lucifer itself, you know, can be a bit unsteady, especially if it's not in a sheltered position. So you can put in some stakes. If you are putting in some stakes, put them in when you plant the bulbs if you can, if you're not going to be offended by having stakes everywhere, and at least then you're not stabbing bulbs or disrupting the root system. Okay, so once you've planted it, water it in, and really that'll be fine until the spring starts. But as I said previously, especially when you first planted it, over that first summer, it will need some watering to help promote that good flowering, good foliage production, and in any summer where you've got periods of droughts, more watering will be required. So other than putting down a top dressing or a mulch or a dry mulch over the winter to protect against ground penetrating frost. That's all you need to know about how to plant and grow Crocosmia plant species, cultivars and varieties. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've got anything else that you would like to add regarding growing Crocosmia, then we'd love to hear from you. Put that in the comments. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.